Welcome to Mindful Movements number 2. Beginning in mountain pose. Just having your feet about shoulder length apart, slight bend to the knees, no pelvic tilt to support the lower back, maybe a shoulder rotation back just to help opening up the chest and just allowing a breath to fill the belly, and maybe a little ocean breath on an exhale. And just noticing sound as we bring this intention of attending to our body and our breath. Perhaps noticing the feet on the floor, allowing a little toe wiggle, bringing the toes up off the floor, and then letting them fall. As if we're a mountain, just breathing, noticing parts of the body that keep us upright, and softening. And when it makes sense, we'll begin a little circling of the neck. So perhaps on an exhale, allowing the left ear to come to the left shoulder. And then at your own pace, just maybe allowing the neck and head to fall back, swinging around to the opposite shoulder, and then forward if that makes sense for you. Notice sensations of the neck. Maybe reversing the motion. Not wanting to go over an edge of stretching, but just noticing the edge. And this intention to move the head and how the body will follow, and noticing sensations of the neck. And when it makes sense on an inhale, bringing your head back up towards the sky and resting in mountain pose. Your next in breath, just allowing the arms to rise up to a T position. And allowing an ocean breath on the exhale. And perhaps just doing small circles with your hands out to the side. Noticing sensations of the shoulders. Makes sense, reversing the motion. Still allowing the eyes to be closed, or if it makes sense for you for balance, having them open. And then maybe just expanding the circle a little bit larger. Allowing the ocean breath. Maybe reversing larger circles. Maybe with a different pace. And then on your next in-breath, maybe allowing the hands to go all the way up towards the sky. Holding for a breath cycle. And then on an exhale, just slowly allowing them to come back down to your body. Resting again in mountain pose. noticing the body. Allowing a softening in those areas that can be soft. And when you're ready, we're just going to allow our arms to move forward, stretched out, perhaps placing one arm over the top of the other. And then bringing those elbows together, the hands upright into the sky, maybe overlapping palms. It might look like this on the side. And on an in-breath, we're going to allow our arms to move up towards the sky. And exhaling, allowing them to fall. On an in-breath, up towards the sky again. And on an out-breath, letting them back down. And then completely fall to your side, resting in mountain for a breath cycle. Allowing an ocean breath. And when you're ready, allowing the arms to come out straight, placing the other arm on top of the elbow, allowing the hands to go to the sky, palms facing one another, and on an in-breath, allowing the arms to go up towards the sky, and falling on an exhale. One more in-breath up, and exhale, falling down. And releasing the hands, letting the arms come down to your side. And resting in mountain pose. Now, if it makes sense, experimenting with a little chair pose. So we're going to bend our knees. Keeping our knees going forward. Letting the palms rest on top of the knees, if that makes sense. And resting there, if that's enough for you, supporting your body. And or perhaps allowing your arms to come forward. Noticing the activation of the muscles, sensations of the body, softening muscles of the face. When it makes sense, going up and resting again in mountain. Noticing sensations of the body. Allowing an ocean breath. And softening those areas that can be softened. And when it makes sense again, one more chair pose. As if we have a chair behind us that we're about ready to sit into. And if it makes sense for you, allowing the arms to rise. Noticing sensations of the body. And when you're ready, allowing the arms to fall, torso to rise, resting in mountain pose. Again, a slight bend of the knees and a little pelvic tilt. And now, for a little balance pose called tree. So allowing weight to come to our left side. And on an inhale, allowing our hands to go off into a T. And perhaps just bringing our right foot close to our left ankle. With our right knee bent slightly. We can just leave it there. And just noticing this balancing. Or it makes for sense for you, allowing the bottom part of your right foot to rise up above onto your left leg, opening your leg and your knee to the right side, and resting in tree pose. And on your next exhale, allowing your arms and the leg to fall to the side, and resting in mountain pose. Practicing breathing, noticing sensations of the body. And when you're ready, allowing the weight to rest on to the right leg, maybe a slight bend to the knee. Arms off to the side, and again bringing that left foot to your right ankle and just resting it there with a slight bend to the knee on the left side. And or if it makes sense, allowing your left foot to come up onto your right leg. And balancing like a tree. Noticing the body sensations and perhaps just softening muscles of the face. And on your next exhale, just allowing your arms and legs to drop back into mountain pose. And now a forward bend. Maintaining your posture and your position perhaps on the mat, and just allowing on an exhale for the head to fall towards the floor. And pausing on an inhale, and on an exhale allowing the head and shoulders to move towards the floor. And just slowly pausing on the inhale, allowing your torso to move towards the floor. Bending your knees, and perhaps just allowing the fingertips to graze the floor, and the head to relax, following into ragdoll. Allowing a breath cycle. And at some point, allowing our hands to touch the floor and fully bending our knees. And stretching out our hands as we move into tabletop position. And just noticing sensations of the floor against our hands and our knees and the tops of our feet. And experimenting with cat and cow. So on an out breath, we want to go ahead and drop the head, lifting the back. And on an in breath, allowing the head to rise, and the belly to move towards the floor. So at your own pace, just experimenting with sensations as you move into and out of cat-cow. Allowing an ocean breath on the exhale. Maybe experimenting with pace. Sometimes slowing it up. You notice different sensations. And when you're ready, pausing at tabletop. And we're going to do a C-curve stretch. We're going to allow our head and hips
move towards one another on the right side. And then releasing back to tabletop. So just an exhale as we bring our head, right shoulder, and right hips towards one another. Noticing the stretch on the left side, holding for a breath cycle. And then releasing your next inhale. And resting in the tabletop. And on your next exhale, let's do the other opposite side. So moving our left hip towards our left shoulder, left part of our head. Releasing back into tabletop. And on your next exhale, again, C-curve stretch, we're allowing our left hip, left shoulder, left part of our head to move towards each other. Pausing for a breath cycle, noticing the sensations on the right side. And then coming back into tabletop. And on an exhale, allowing the buttocks to move towards the ankles. And falling into child's pose. Noticing sensations of the body. Allowing an ocean breath. And softening those areas of the body that can be softened. And when it makes sense on your next in-breath, slowly coming back up into tabletop position. As we're going to experiment with bird dog. So we're going to extend our right hand away from our body and also our left leg. Allowing the fingertips and the toes just to rest on the floor. Or if you're able, if it makes sense for your body, you can bring them up parallel to the floor. Holding for a breath cycle, just noticing sensations of the body. Softening the muscles of the face. And then releasing. And noticing the contact with the floor, bringing back up to tabletop. Allowing a breath cycle. And an ocean breath. And now extending the left hand and arm away from the body. And the right leg and foot away. Maintaining contact with the floor, or if it makes sense for your body, allowing the left arm and the right leg to run parallel with the floor. Noticing sensations of the body and releasing. Noticing this contact with the floor and resting again in tabletop. And now we might do a little side plank. It makes sense for you. So just allowing our left arm and elbow to come towards the floor, running perpendicular to our body, and shifting our weight, either maintaining the hand on the floor, bringing our hips forward and resting here. Or if it makes sense, you can bring your left leg off the floor along with the right hand, or side plank, or if that doesn't feel right for your body, allowing that left leg to still rest on the floor along with your right hand. Just noticing sensations of the body. And when it makes sense, rotating your back, your hips towards the floor. Place your knees underneath your hips and resting in tabletop. And when you're ready, allowing your right arm and elbow to come towards the floor, allowing that right knee to be underneath your hips, rotating your hips through, and bringing the arm up or up on your hip, or allowing the legs and the arms to go upright off the floor. Noticing sensations of the body. And if it makes sense for you, just allowing that left hand and right leg to be underneath your body, supporting the side plank. And when you're ready, rotating the hips back over towards the ground, towards the floor, resting in tabletop. And if it makes sense for you, allowing a falling back into child's pose. And when you're ready on an in-breath, coming back up out of child's pose. And we're going to move to a seated position. So maybe just allowing your knees to move forward and rolling back. And maintaining yourself on your mat. Or just allowing your feet to move forward in a straight position, toes up to the ground. And just notice sensations on the underside of the legs. Breathing, noticing sensations, softening muscles of the body. And allowing both knees to come up towards your chest and maybe fall towards the ground. Grabbing hold of your ankles. And just with chest being forward, just allowing the knees to fall. In cobbler pose, perhaps just massaging the underside or the top side of your feet. Perhaps even opening them up like a book, just looking at the undersides of your feet. Offering that massage to the body. Noticing sensations of the feet, of the legs, and the buttocks. And now perhaps we can just do a little straight leg bend, so maybe just allowing the left leg to lengthen and maintaining the right foot near the left leg. Toes to the sky. And if it makes sense, allowing your hand or your arms to maybe, on an exhale, slowly along with the head, moving towards your left foot. Maybe on the exhale, just allowing the stretch to deepen. Not pushing yourself towards any discomfort or pain. But just notice the sensations of the body and of the leg sensations of stretching. And when you're ready, allowing the torso to come up towards the sky. And let's switch positions, allowing that right leg now to move forward. Perhaps toes to the sky, and just noticing sensations in the right leg as we sit upright. And when you're ready, allowing the hands and the head to move towards your right foot. And on an exhale, just allowing a little bit more of a stretch. Softening muscles of the face. And when it makes sense, allowing the torso to move up towards the sky. And bringing both feet together, and perhaps just now sitting in a cross-legged position. Allowing the chest to move forward. And just allowing the breath to travel into and out of the body. And now for a little sitting side stretch, maybe perhaps letting our left hand greet the floor. And on an in breath, the right arm up to the sky. And we're just going to allow a side stretch, moving the torso and the hand to the left side. Noticing sensations on the right side of our body. Maintaining an erect position, holding for the breath cycle. And then at some point, just switching sides. So allowing that right arm and hand to greet the floor. On an in-breath, the left hand to go up. And on an exhale, allowing a stretch towards your right side, noticing sensations on the left side of your body. Ready on an in-breath. Coming back up, bringing the left hand back down, perhaps resting them on your lap and just maintaining a sitting position. And noticing sensations of the body. And breathing. Softening those areas that can be softened. And now when you're able, perhaps grabbing the knees and allowing them to come upright. And position yourself on your mat so if it makes sense for your body, just allow a slow descent to the floor. Vertebrae by vertebrae. Allowing your body and your backside to experience the floor. And resting for a breath cycle in corpse pose. Noticing the body. Breathing and softening. And when it makes sense, just allowing your right knee to come up towards the sky, followed by your left knee. Maybe just allowing a little pelvic tilt. Pressing the small of the back of your back against the floor and releasing. And allowing that right knee come towards the chest, followed by the left knee. those knees towards your chest. And then releasing. And knees towards the chest. And releasing. And one more, knees towards your chest as you exhale. And now releasing the hands. Noticing the feet come in contact with the floor. And stretching out your legs. And your feet fall to the side, allowing for a pelvic tilt. Perhaps allowing the hands to open up and face towards the sky. Resting in corpse pose. Noticing sensations in the body. Allowing the breath to travel down into and out of your body. And as we conclude, you'll notice the bells and just continuing to rest in corpse pose for as long as it makes sense for you. But just resting in the sound of the bells.